Okay, we've been talking about getting strategic, so let's get strategic. So by the end of this lesson, we'll establish a process for how to think strategically. So what is strategy? At its core, it's a plan. It means that you've got a plan for what you're going to do. If you go into something, which we all do at some time in our life, we fire, ready, aim, right? You've had a project, maybe it's a home project, and you just jump right into it, and then you realize, maybe I should have stepped back and thought this through a little bit before I just jumped into the project. And then you realized you weren't being very strategic. You were just jumping in with tactics on thinking you could just shortcut what you were trying to do instead of having a plan and then executing against the plan. It happens. So we're going to start with, let's have a plan. And that's the strategy around what we want to accomplish. So for those of you that are fortunate enough to be strategic thinkers, the book by Simon Sinek, Start With Why, I don't think there's a better book out there for a strategic-minded person than to start with why. It sums up that you've got to have your why, and we'll get to our why for the tactical people in the group. But if you need a methodology for starting with why, if you're strategic-minded, this book is really the way to go. I'm not going to be able to sum up a better process than he is. But by my estimates, 90% of you out there, you're a tactical thinker like me. And if you're a tactical person, which, let's face it, the majority of our day is tactical. Almost 99% of our day is just tactics. We get into routines where we don't have to think about things. We know what we're going to have for breakfast. We know what we're going to maybe even have for lunch. We know our route to work. We know what we're going to do on certain weekdays, certain weekend days. The plans are there. The strategics already happen. So now we're just executing tactics. And so we fall into that trap of just always being tactical, which is why sometimes, like I mentioned with like a home project, you just jump in not thinking about, oh yeah, I need a plan before I just start reacting to things. So if you're a tactical person and you need some help kind of shaking that loose a little bit and getting out of it, then I recommend using what I call the what, why, how. And it is, what do you want to accomplish? Think about that first. And for this course, it'll be in a role. But if you think about anything that you haven't been strategic with, where you need a plan, start with what do you want to accomplish? And then go to why. And make sure the why fits with why does it matter to you? Because a lot of times as tactical people, we jump in with, well, I want to accomplish this. And then we go, well, why do you want to do that? And you go, well, I don't know why. I don't know if that's really that important. That's not uncommon, which is why we go through these steps to make sure that the why fits with character and principles and ethics that you have as a person. Sometimes I see people jump on career opportunities chasing the dollar. And what they wanted to accomplish was make more money. And why they wanted to do that, maybe they had very good intents about, just taking care of their family. But when they really understood what role they were taking on, they go, well, I don't like that company, or I don't agree with what they do. And now they've got this internal conflict that they're trying to battle against, and they haven't really planned ahead. So for those of you that are like me, that are tactical by nature, you want to step back and say, what do I want to accomplish, and why do I want to accomplish that? What is the purpose of it? And if all those are good, they check the boxes of, I want to accomplish X, and I want to do this because of this why, this purpose, and it fits with my own character and my ethics and my values, it fits all those boxes, then I can step back and say, is there a path that if I want to accomplish this thing, that I've got a pathway to do it in a reasonable amount of time? And for this course, this workshop, we're going to tie everything to a year. It's a 1-year goal-setting workshop where you're setting the goals for the year you're in, and you've got to say, can I achieve this goal in this year? And if the answer is yes, and they fit the what and the why, and there's a pathway to do it in a year, great. If there's not the capability to fit it in a year, there's not a pathway to get it done in a year, then we need to revisit what the overall goal is, and maybe we need to pull it back, knowing that maybe this is a 3-year or a 5-year plan, and we're just going to have to be more patient and reset our own expectations. So make sure you've gone through the process as you ask yourself what goals you want to set, what do you want to accomplish, and why do you want to accomplish it, and does it fit with your values? And that'll make more sense. I use the example of a home project. Fixing a toilet doesn't have a good why that's going to coordinate with values. You want your toilet fixed because you need your toilet fixed. And it's either you're going to fix it, or a professional's going to fix it, or somebody you know is going to fix it, but it's got to get fixed. There's no why that needs to coordinate with your values there. So these other goals that we're talking about, other roles in your life, you'll see where that matters more about fitting in with your values. So this will require some thought. You are going to have to spend some time and wrestle with some things in your life. Never before, if you try to do this at home, never before will you have wanted to get up and do the dishes so bad, or some other chore that you don't like doing, because you're going to have some internal demons in some of the roles in your life. There are things that take time in your life. Those are the roles. And as you get into those, there are some trauma or some past background or some past issues or conflict, and you're going to have to wrestle through those. Usually they're around family, but sometimes they're around friends. Sometimes they're around spouses. Sometimes they're around your job. You're going to have to wrestle with these things, and in order to get improvement out of them, or in order to make them better to where maybe some of that trauma and stress goes out of your life, if you'll spend the time wrestling with them here, you can improve those things and your life will get better. So in conclusion, if you're a strategic person, you'll use the Start With Why book by Simon Sinek. There are plenty of summaries online of this where you can understand his methodology. I think he's even got a little triangle that you can find the graphic on and utilize that as a shortcut until you've got time to read the book. If you are a tactical person like myself, use the what, why, how methodology in order to figure out what you want, why you want it, and how you can get there in the next year. And we'll cover these methods in upcoming lessons.